Welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Jamie with Simply Living It, and today I'm going to do a quick flip through, kind of a look inside here for the Spelling You See Americana Student Workbook D. And if you can see, there is a part 1 and a part 2 as well. So I do just want to go ahead and flip through and kind of show you guys what this looks like. And I just want to mention here, in this note to the instructor, it says, this innovative program is designed to help your student become a confident and successful speller while spending only a few minutes each day on spelling practice. This program is not difficult, but it is different. Your instructor's handbook is essential in order to teach this program effectively. So, note, I do not have the instructor's handbook and I have not used it. So, the way we are using this curriculum in our home might look different than the way it is intended, but it works for us. So my son who's using this is a 5th grader this year, and I purchased this in the fall of 2018 when we started our school year. So I just want to show you what I'm meaning by it looking different in our home than what it is intended. So I really like in this the fact that they are getting their reading, their handwriting, their spelling, and a little bit of history all in one. As you can see here, this first lesson is a story about the American flag. It's a little write-up in history on the flag. So they read the story and then they go ahead and do their copy work on the right-hand side. Right, so this is lesson 1 in part 1 or book 1. So as you can see here, the instructions are to read the story to your student, read it together slowly, have the student point to each word as you read. And then number 3 would be vowel chunks are a combination of vowels that usually make one sound. Help your student find and mark all the vowel chunks in yellow. So we do this differently as instructed, like I mentioned before. I don't read any of this to my child. He is a 5th grader. He reads it on his own. And in this lesson, I did have him do the vowel chunks, but moving forward, I have discontinued that. I don't think it's necessary. He knows his vowel chunks. So we have gone on just using this as a little bit of reading, spelling, history, and then handwriting. That is how we use Spelling You See in our homeschool. That is what works for us. Again, we do not do the vowel chunks. We strictly just write it. I'm looking for nice handwriting, correct spelling. So section 1A and 1B are the exact same story, just working on the same proper spelling and proper handwriting. 1C will also be the same. And then you'll move on to 1D where they will write it by themselves. This is just practicing their handwriting skills now and from dictation, which if you had the teacher's handbook, it would tell you what you need to be doing and how they need to properly be doing the dictation. But for me, I'm fine with him just using his best handwriting and going about it as best as he can from memory. It's not a huge deal to me. This is more just something to keep him busy, get a little bit of history, get his handwriting in. This is all we use strictly for handwriting, as he is a 5th grader. I really like the history, the brief little snippets of history that they're getting through this. They're also getting, like I mentioned before, they're getting their history, they're getting their handwriting, they're getting spelling, they're getting reading. We've loved using this in our home just as something that they enjoy doing. One of my favorite things about Spelling You See is that they can do this on their own. They don't have to have teacher instruction to go through this. Now, if you are wanting to use it as a spelling program with the instructor handbook, then that's going to look a little bit different, obviously. But for us, this is something that both my 3rd and 5th grader can do on their own while I'm working with their younger brother. This is just good independent work. Here, as we're moving through the lessons, you can see we're working on consonant chunks. So not just your vowel chunks, but your consonant chunks as well, and some more copy work. And we're just going to repeat that as you work through the book. Got other consonant chunks, more history that you're learning. Here you're learning about Paul Revere, and you're just going to keep moving through that. And I always have little notes. He leaves me little notes pretty much on every piece of work that he does, and I absolutely love that. And as you can see, as we're going through the school year, there will be days that he is a little bit more lazy than others. And I know that's normal. That's just human nature, right? We all get lazy and try to find the easy way out, and sloppy work is not something I'm going to roll with. So here they're working on the bossy R chunks, as well as learning about the seal of the United States. Here they're learning about Ben Franklin. This is all just some really good U.S. history. And we have not finished this book all the way this year. I am going to continue this into his next year as well. So that is book 1, okay? Here you have Spelling You See, Americana Student Workbook Part 1 for level D. Now when you look at level 2, this one we have not worked in yet. This one has been untouched, but we're working on different consonant chunks, still focusing on the spelling. But as I mentioned before, we are not using the handbook. We are just using this as copy work. We're using it as history. We're using it as reading and spelling, just not quite as it was intended. And that's okay. That's what works in our home. That's what works for us. If you have used this in your homeschool and you did purchase the teacher's handbook, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have thought that it was completely necessary, if you found it helpful, or if it was just another thing that was kind of a throwaway thing. I have purchased a lot of teacher's manuals in the past, and we didn't necessarily need them. So sometimes I think it's a waste of money. Sometimes they definitely have a place. For this, as I mentioned before, if we were using it as a spelling program, just a standalone spelling, then I could see how it may be necessary, and even working with your vowel chunks. But where we are just using it, kind of a little side note for, history, spelling, reading, and handwriting, I don't think that has been necessary yet. So here are just some of the consonant chunks, the vowel chunks, and the bossy R chunks, as well as the endings or the suffixes that they will be working on as they get to the end of the book. As I said, we did purchase Spelling You See for my son for his 5th grade school year. Since I'm not a stickler and we haven't gone through it every single day, this will carry into his 6th grade year as well. It works great just for some busy work, some still work, if they need to be focused on something so you can tend to another child. I just really like what they're getting out of this program, and feel like we made a good choice with adding this to our homeschool curriculum. So there you have it, guys. As you can see, we have part 1 and part 2 for Spelling You See, level D, the Americana workbook. This is focusing on American history. Like I said before, we do not have the student handbook. I have not used the student handbook all along. I haven't used it with my 5th grader, and I have not used it with my 3rd grader either. We've just used it basically for little snippets of history and reading as well. There's independent studying that doesn't have to be led by an instructor. I hope this little flip through helps you if you're kind of on the fence about Spelling You See, maybe don't know what it entails or what it looks like. Again, like I said before, if you're a mom who has used the handbook with this and feel that it is necessary for a standalone spelling, please leave a comment in the section down below. I am curious if it is actually a helpful piece or if it's just another item that isn't completely necessary. If you guys like this content, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment in the section below. Let me know some feedback on this. I do have so many different books that I could do flip throughs for that I find very helpful as a homeschool mom as well. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in, please. I would really appreciate that. I hope you have a wonderful day.